man, you know, it's definitely a good time. It's definitely a good time today. It's a good time and it's a good day. Brothers are dialoguing. Brothers are dialoguing. So, for those who may not know, I'm Brother Simbi, and I'm the brother that Brother Alsair is having a tirade about. You know, I mean, it's funny. You know. Well, he made me laugh. He made me laugh because he was saying, I don't know. I guess he thinks that I think I'm deep. That's funny, bro. You want to be deep like me? You mad? You mad? You want to be deep or something? You mad because I'm deep, bro? That was funny. That was funny. I want to share his video though, because I just want to take my time to talk about some of the things that he's saying. Why? Why do I want to take my time? Because I'm going to give the brother respect. He has an opinion and he feels strongly about something. So I'm not going to respond emotionally. I'm not going to go on a tirade about Brother Alsair. Bro, I triggered you. I made you mad. You sound big mad. you know, you hurling out all these insults and things like that. I'm starting to question. Bro, okay, okay, let's go. All right, and I'm talking directly to you, brother. Okay, at first I was like, okay, why is he making videos? So we're gonna start this back and forth video diss tracks. Who are we? Kendrick Lamar and Drake. This your diss track. Alsair, this the first one or something. We're gonna have a series of back and forth, like conscious community battle, rap battle, whatever, video battles or whatever. That's what we doing. But anyway, let's see what you have to say.
Peace, family. Dr. Dennis Saul Winkler back at you again. I think somebody told me, well, I think my father asked, yo, one, if you can hear me, give me my volume went out because lots of times last week. I've been on a live with the Temple of Elevation this week, where we spoke about various issues concerning accountability in the community. One being the sister, what's her name? Her last name is Seals, Amanda Seals. And then also they brought in a conversation about Umar Johnson. And then yesterday we spoke about on another podcast on the same network. You can go and find both podcasts or both discussions on Reality Speaks Media. And what I realized in my dialogue with people is that we so deep, we are so deep that we don't know anything. I remember my father used to say something, and he always say, people become educated fools. But I think we rarely talk about spiritual fools. You understand? So I think we have educated fools, and we have what we might as well call them spiritual fools. Bobby, Bob, I see you out there, but you never told me about the spiritual fools. We got educated in spirit. I think it's all intertwined some kind of way. They know so much because of their spiritual understanding that that nobody ever.
So I'm the spiritual fool. If I'm the spiritual fool, brother, you're the educated fool. Because it sounds like you try to sound just as deep as you saying I'm trying to sound. Yeah, and brother, well, brother, you try to sound deep, bro. Okay, so I mean, it's funny because you're talking about yourself. But I mean, you can call me that. I'll be the spiritual fool, okay? But you got to be the educated fool.
Everything what I realized in these podcasts this week, today, the other day, yesterday, and the day before, is that we're so spiritual that nobody's causing us harm besides ourselves. We're so spiritual that we can't hold other people accountable, especially if we like them. Especially if we find them as funny. We find them as have great oratory skills. You understand? There was great conversation in the last 2 days about a particular brother in our community who causes us collective harm. And the only thing, a particular brother, a dear brother who I really appreciate, but to me, he said things like this brother can cause all types of harms in our community. He can call people out of their names, and all he finds it is funny. I find it as comedy. People find this particular brother.
So that right there is disingenuous. That is disingenuous. Okay. I never said I found him, disrespecting people or calling people out of their names funny. I'm talking about the clowning of and he's talking about, the brother's talking about Dr. Umar Johnson. He's going to say that later in the video of who he's talking about. Um, yeah, I do find Umar Johnson funny. Okay, because some of the shenanigans that he would do, that I would see him doing on video. I'm not talking about if he insulted people. I'm not saying that that's funny. I never said that that's funny, brother. I never said him insulting people is funny. But when brothers are talking about, he's sitting back eating Twizzlers with his shirt off, trying to be sexy on camera, talking to the ladies, I just thought that was hilarious. Like that, this character that he has formulated, calling himself the King Kong of consciousness, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, and all of these slogans he got. I just think it's hilarious. I think it's funny. I don't take it seriously, because if he is serious about those titles, to me, that's a bunch of self-aggrandizement, a huge ego, arrogance, very, very much inflated, that I can't take him serious. I just laugh at it because I see the character, so it doesn't make me angry. It doesn't bother me. But, some of you brothers, you're so damn revolutionary. You're so damn serious all the time that you can't have a sense of humor. That's the way I'm seeing it. I'm not talking about me perceiving him doing any of these abuses that you're talking about. I'm not referring to any of these abuses that you are referring to. I'm talking about the character display. That's it. That's no big deal. But let's continue.
I'm going to just say his name, Umar Johnson, as to be a leader. They find him to be someone who's going to lead the way. But he says, "Well, I don't see him that way. I see him as a comedian. I see him as I just find him to be comedic. I find him to be entertaining. If it's your fault if you think that he's going to do anything else, so it's her fault or it's the community's fault to think anything else." And what I am saying, I get what you're saying, brother. You see, again, the problem with his analysis from my standpoint is that he's only thinking about himself, but he calls himself a collective brother. I'm talking about the brother that I had discourse with over the last 2 days about this particular brother, Umar Johnson, who he's seen.
He's talking about me. Just for clarity, he's talking about me. You can go on, like he said, Reality Speaks Media, and watch the two lives for yourself. One was Sunday and one was Monday. Different one was Monday.
Seems to struggle with holding him accountable. I'm not, and it's not the thing he's saying. Well, I'm not going to spend my time on on holding Umar accountable and all these type of things. Look, I'm not either. I know it ain't gonna work.
So he's having this tirade about me not holding Umar Johnson accountable. And I said, I'm not going to spend my time and energy holding him accountable. And he just said, well, I'm not either, because I know it won't work. Then that puts you in the same position as me, brother. Because if you're not going to hold him accountable because it won't work, then what are you talking about? You're not going to spend your energy and time holding him accountable. And that's all that I'm saying. I'm not doing all of that. And you're saying you're not either. So I think you're too deep for your own good too, brother. Because you sound very confusing. You talking about we need to hold him accountable. Hold him accountable then. But you said you're not. Because it won't work. Come on, brother. Stop playing, man.
I know it's not going to work. There's no reason for me to talk to Umar Johnson about his issues. But again, we have to warn people about the potential harm that people like Umar causes to our community. And I am not saying on individual levels, although there is information out there that can clear.
Now, I agree. I agree with what he said. Yeah, warn people about potential people like Umar Johnson that could do harm to the community. And then he says he's not talking on an individual level. That's what I'm saying. I agree with that, brother. Okay. So, but I'm glad you're doing this video, because at first I was like, why is he making videos, man? But I think it's best that we have a dialogue like this. We have an exchange like this, because you like to yell, brother. You like to yell. You like to yell at people. So you can stay over there and yell in your space right there, and that way I can not be triggered by your yelling, and I can take my time, and I can breathe, and I can get past the yelling and the emotional display that you're doing and that you tend to do. And I can dissect and look and analyze what you're saying. Okay. So then I can breathe, be like, okay, am I going to have an ego response? Or am I going to just really listen and try to hear what he's saying? And I hear what you're saying, brother. Okay. Look, I'm about building and protecting the community as well. I don't want to allow people to get hurt. But I understand from living life that when people make decisions to deal with certain people, you just got to let it pan out. You can warn them and everything like that. I'm not saying don't do that. If you in a position, like if someone asked me about Dr. Umar, who didn't know about Dr. Umar, I'm going to tell them to do their research and look online. There's a lot of things that people are saying about the man. I don't know about his personal life, but there's a lot that's being said. You have to make your decision and judge for yourself, but go in with your eyes open. Okay. Now, that might be too soft an angle for you, but depending on how deep we get into the conversation, I may say some things about what I may observe about the brother's character and think some things that I've heard. But many things that I've heard, I can't say that I know them, that I know these things. These are things that I may have heard about the man. Okay, let's continue.
Really, support the hurt and harm that he does to other people in our community on an individual level. But what I am saying is, if you see things on a very community level, if you see things on social media, and people are calling people names like my dear brother Umar does. He calls people out of their names, and it's not just Umar. As many of these social media celebrities, these social media phenoms that come before us. I can name a litany of them, from the Polites to the Nature Boys to the Umar Johnsons to many of them, and they hurt people in different ways. You understand? I understand that they're not all equal, and they're not. But the reality is they're hurting people nonetheless.
Now, brother Osar, I want you to really understand and know that I agree with you about waking people up and getting them to, look at certain character traits, certain patterns, certain things, like you mentioned Polite, you mentioned Nature Boy, things like that. We got people that, do things like that, like their narcissism and their behaviors, which are telltale signs. I'm I'm with you on that, brother. I'm with you on that. You know, it I don't have a problem with that at all. You see, it's just that with the thing with Dr. Umar, I just didn't agree with putting a magnifying glass and singling, one brother out, such as him, whom some of the things that I've heard, to me, it may just be hearsay. So for me, I don't know if some of this stuff is true or not. But then, when you expand it and get so intricate into, he's having fake weddings and these fake weddings harm the people and all of that. I just don't go that far with that because I didn't analyze and look at the fake wedding that deeply. I didn't study what he was actually doing. I just saw, online that it said he had a fake wedding. I don't know who was deceived or not. I know that I didn't give two hoots if the man got married or not. So then a wedding ended up being fake. I don't know his reason for doing it. I didn't study it. I don't study that man. I don't spend time studying that man. If he, just like with any other thing, if he's saying something that's interesting, that I feel may be educational or inspirational pertaining to, what he talks about with special education and being there for black boys and things like that. I appreciate stuff like that. I don't go that deeply into his life to get so emotionally aroused like you and other brothers are getting about this man. And so since I don't do that, you're angry at me. That just it doesn't make much sense to me, brother.
People are hurt not only by sexual or physical abuse. People are also hurt by emotional and intellectual, psychological, spiritual abuse. And abuse just means that you are taking advantage. You are of a person to get your way. You are trying to gain and maintain power over other people to carry out what you want to happen. So it's not that complex thing. And what I'm saying is, in things like name calling and calling people out of their names and all this type of thing, if you think that is appropriate for our community, I have to question all the stuff you're talking.
So, brother, if you're saying that I think it's appropriate for name calling, I don't know where you're getting that from. Because I never said it's appropriate to be calling people names. You just pulling and extracting stuff from, I don't know where you're getting it from. You're just making up stuff. I never said that it's acceptable to be, abusing people or calling people names. That is not what I was talking about as far as the comedy.
About. I'm talking about the person who is doing it and the people who are supporting it. And again, I just saw my dear brother put a post up today. The brother that we've been having these conversations with over the last 2 days, and he seemed to he ended the particular broadcast on Reality Speaks. Go check it out, media last evening. he seems to come to understand, well, maybe I'll reflect some more. But I just woke up. I look at my Facebook, and I see that he's now again saying you spending people spend who spend their times on other people and stuff like that, and not really doing the work with on themselves.
I'll read exactly what I posted. I said, inspired by last night's live. So that statement right there, when I said this Facebook post is inspired by last night's live, I'm talking about the discussion that he's referring to. I stated, it's hard to see ourselves when we are preoccupied with what other people are doing. Because I guarantee if you are that focused on others, you're hiding your own stuff from yourself. So that was my statement that has them all triggered, upset, and angry.
And it's really whatever he's really trying to put it back on the people who are identifying the issues in other people in our community. See, brothers, sisters, that we sound deep. Again, we can do.
No, that's not what I was doing. The what I'm referring to, the brothers were so emotional, so intense about getting me to join, their opinion to hold Umar Johnson accountable. And I'm saying, life is going to hold him accountable. He got to hold himself accountable. People, more and more people going to find out about him, but y'all have at it. If you want to hold him accountable, do it. But he just said he's not going to do it. Or Sarah just said he's not going to do it because it's not going to work and it's going to be a waste of time. So then it's about warning people about Dr. Umar. Then have at it. If that's what you want to do, warn him. For those of you who got all this extensive knowledge about, Dr. Umar's alleged antics and shenanigans, go ahead, warn people, tell people. I'm not trying to stop you from doing that, but y'all brothers was coming at me, with some anger, like y'all questioning my manhood, because I'm saying I'm not. If like, because y'all at first was I'm talking about on the first 2 days, on Sunday and Monday, it seemed to be an emphasis on the women and protecting women from him. But then when I brought that up, you say, well, it's not the women, it's the men too. But come on, keep it real. The emphasis was about protecting women from him. And I was saying, who are these women? Are these grown women who are making decisions to support and rock with Dr. Umar? If they are making the decision to do that, I'm not going to play Captain Save-A-Ho. Okay. I said that statement, it was a little, I guess, for shock value, whatever. But I apologize for saying that statement because I don't see women as hoes. I don't call women hoes. But I was communicating the message of, you can't, I'm not going to go try to save a woman from an experience that she wants. She's a grown woman. And I know many people have heard women say that they saw all the signs in the beginning, but they still continue to deal with this dude. Boom. I've seen, clownish behavior and certain behaviors that I don't agree with Dr. Umar. I don't support the man. He never got no dollars from me. I never went to see him speak. I never did business with the man. I don't have no type of relationship with the brother. And so in my mind, based on his social media personality and some of the antics that I seen, yeah, I started seeing this as comedy. I wasn't saying he was a comedian, bro. I ain't say he said he was a comedian. Stop trying to twist my words, man. I'm saying, you know how you call somebody that's clowning, you call him a comedian. I'm not saying he Kevin Hart or whatever. I'm saying I don't take him serious. Other people take him serious. Well, maybe he does do some things for other people. Because we heard the sister say that was on the live on Sunday, how he supported her with navigating through something pertaining to her son through the school system. So say, okay, that's somebody bearing witness to some good that he's done. So don't get mad at me, angry at me, because I'm not as angry at Dr. Umar as you are, bro. That just doesn't make no sense. That's silly, man.
Two things at one time. I don't understand why we think that we cannot identify problems in our communities, why we cannot identify people who are harming us, and at the same time do the work that is necessary for ourselves within ourselves.
I never said we can't do that. I never said we can't do that. I'm saying I don't have no obsession and preoccupation with Dr. Umar, that individual. That's all I was saying. And if I have a difference, a slightly different opinion than you do about that subject, you can get mad at me? Come on, bro. You're not making sense, man.
We can do both. It is indicative that you have not done enough work within yourself, that you cannot do both. And
it is indicative that you have not done enough work in yourself. Who trying to sound deep? Huh? Mr. Education? I'm not the one, with degrees. I don't know what degrees you got. You may have some degrees. I'm not sure, but you're the therapist, so don't project, bro. Talking about educated fools and spiritual fools. And I'm sitting here looking at you projecting and trying to sound intelligent right now. So let's not do this petty insulting stuff. Okay, bro? Because you look just as much as a fool as you think I look. Okay, brother? Let's continue.
Also call out people who deserve to be called out for doing what they're doing. If people are hurting us, if people are hurting our community, then they deserve to be identified. And just because you identify someone who is hurting people in our community does not mean that you are spending all of your time and wasted energy when you could be working on yourself. No.
All right. I accept that. That doesn't mean that. But y'all got very emotional about Umar Johnson because I just wasn't on that exact same page as y'all. So that's what I'm talking about. Why are we spending so much time talking about this guy? Okay, I understand on Sunday that was part of the topic that we spoke about as a temple. He was part of the topic. But on Monday, we're gonna spend all this time on Dr. Umar again? No, we got other things to do, other things to focus on. I don't want to keep focusing on Dr. Umar.
We do both. When you work on yourself and you truly get to a place, you can understand that, yes, I do have some things to work on. But it is also important that I call out those who will hurt me. They got to the point where my dear brother said, I ain't about saving. The same brother who put out a post about, the collective role of men, and the mission for men is the Black woman, right? But the collective mission for Black men are Black women.
Now, let me go to this post because brothers be on some BS trying to twist my words and extract their own understanding about what I'm saying, and trying to tell me what I should mean about what I'm saying. No, I'm gonna tell you what I mean by what I'm saying. You don't tell me what I mean by what I'm saying. That's very, very arrogant of you, sir. So scrolling down. I said, men, contrary to what we may like to think and believe, as a collective gender of males, our mission from birth is women. They may not be your individual focus, But as a collective, they are our mission and purpose. And yes, men are women's purpose as well. But I'm talking about the fellas right now. So I'm saying the males and females, black men and black women, we're here for each other. That's why we're here. As a collective male gender, you're here for the collective female gender. As a collective female gender, you're here for the collective male gender. But I said that may not be your individual focus. But as a collective, they are our mission and purpose. That's not complicated, nor is it deep. So brothers assume that I meant something that I didn't mean, and you confused yourself because I said it right there. And then I explained it even further when the brother, respectfully, the brother Alsair came on my post, and let me try to find his comment. And he said, because me and him had a little exchange. It was respectful and it was much appreciated. He said, "Peace, dear brother. Could you flesh out a bit more? Women are our purpose leaves a lot for interpretation, which I understand is necessary, but it still seems that maybe a little more can assist in following the rationale here. Thanks." Cool. No problem. No problem. I said, brother Dennis, yes, it has been brought to my attention by my good brother Kamal that my statement is incomplete. I accept that. Thanks for the inquiry. So here's my point further fleshed out. Okay? So I said, since males and females are two halves of a whole and therefore need one another, when it comes to building and maintaining healthy families and communities, the character development of males and females should be based upon the preparation and training for each to become viable partners for the other to achieve that purpose of family and community. So as a man, when I take on a woman as a partner, since we both have agreed to take on this project of love and family, then her concerns become my concerns, and it becomes my job to help her fulfill her needs, as well as it becomes her job to help me fulfill mine. We are here for each other. Hold up. Yeah, we are here for each other since there is no healthy family without our healthy union. That's simple. That's simple. Brothers, chose to have a problem with that because I said, men, on the contrary to what we may think and believe, as a collective gender of males, I didn't say you individually. I said the males, the male species on the earth. Our mission from birth is women, who is our divine counterpart. Okay? But then I said, and yes, men are women's purpose as well. Look, if you don't like the wording, that's fine. That's fine. But I explained to you the meaning. Okay? So don't try to tell me what I'm supposed to mean when I say this. Stop being so damn arrogant, man.
I can agree with that on a very intellectual level. I can say, well, I can see where's the black family. I can see where's the black community. I can see where's God. I can see, if you want to, create these little very exact statements and think that they really cover everything, and oh, I get it, and you think it's super deep and all that type of thing, that's cool. But what I'm saying is, I can agree to what you're saying, and I can reframe it and rephrase.
Bro, you projecting with that super deep thing. Obviously, you think you're deep, and so you see something in me that reminds you of yourself that you projecting on me. Because why are you going to keep saying, super deep? I know it's not super deep. I ain't trying to be deep. I'm just being me. And this is what I perceive. Ain't about deep. You the one talking about deep. Come on, bruh. You ain't the only one that, deal with psychology, brother.
Is another way, and it still mean the same thing. You understand? But what I am really saying is, how can you, again, how can you begin to say the collective mission for black people or black men or the black woman, but then at the same time, in the same note, say that I'm not Captain Saver beat, right? But again, and I'm not saying on an individual level. I'm saying if we're being
well, that's what I was talking about on an individual level. I'm not, if he's doing certain things with, allegedly, according to y'all, he's taking advantage of women, then there's some specific women that he's taking advantage of. Okay. Now, if these women are choosing to be in relationship with this brother, in light of all the things that's out there on social media about him, then they're making a choice. I don't have to save them. It's not my job to save them from their choice. I don't know what's so confusing about that. I don't know what you're so upset about that for. So that's what I meant by I'm not being Captain Save-A-Ho. All right, I'm not scared to say the word again. You act like you can't say the word Captain Save-A. I'm not calling women hoes. I'm just using that phrase to illustrate a point. Yeah, it might not, be as tasteful as a word that I can use, but you create your acronym, use your acronym, use a different acronym. Ho, heaven on earth, just like I mentioned before. Okay, we can change that around. We can make it a little more positive, but we don't have to say ho at all. But I'm simply saying, you keep bringing that up like you can't understand what I'm saying, brother. You so smart, you so intelligent. You talk about nuances and all of that. You can't see the nuance in that. Come on, man. Oh, we got the spiritual fool. I'm the spiritual fool, and you're the educated fool. Okay, that's what okay. All right, that's what it is. Thanks for the reminder.
On a collective level, and you're saying our mission is the black woman, then we are to protect the collective black woman, because individuals like Umar Johnson and other people are taking advantage of our community as a collective, not just a woman, but she is often in his mouth. And I'm not going to talk about the individual things that I know about and the individual things that is evident from what you see on social media, and understand, if you understand this, if people are doing things on social media, imagine what they're doing behind closed doors. Okay, imagine this. If people are lying to you about certain things, that becomes a part of their character.
I am not going to imagine what the brother is doing behind closed doors. That's between him and the people he's with behind the closed doors. Okay, we don't share that concept. You can imagine and you can concern yourself with that. I'm not concerning myself with that, brother.
That becomes a part of their personality. If people are lying to you on social media, luring you in, telling you that they are doing one thing, and you keep finding out that they're doing another thing, if they keep showing you these traits, why in your mind, you're so smart? You're so smart, but you can't pick up and realize that you're telling why would they continue to do things, and why would they continue to give their money? Why would they continue to lay down with him? But at the same time, you're in the same boat. You're in that boat as well. You're in that boat as well, as not being able to understand that you are also a part of the collective victimhood, because you think it's comedy.
Bro, that statement doesn't make any sense at all. I'm a part of the collective victimhood because I think it's comedy. So because I'm not huffing and puffing, getting angry about what the brother's doing or what I'm hearing that the brother's doing, I'm part of the victimhood. That brother is not influencing me. The other day I said, yeah, I like Dr. Umar. He's cool. He's cool. I'm talking about, that he can, do his little shenanigans and comedy and still, talk about whatever Black Power stuff he want to talk about. I'm not talking about the alleged abuses and all that, which I don't know anything about other than what I hear people talking about who are angry at Dr. Umar. I'm not taking on that anger, brother. Okay? I'm not taking on that anger. You can do that. Be mad. Be big mad about that. I'm not. Okay? Because I know people have to learn how to be self-accountable, and they have to go through their experiences to learn. Okay? So it's not my job. That's not my job, brother. That's your job that you said that you can't even do because it won't work. And I'm talking about when it comes to Dr. Umar Johnson, because that's what y'all mad about. Because on the collective, yeah, I agree. On the collective, as males, we have to care for our women. And for the collective, as females, they have to care for the men. We have to care for each other. That's a general statement. What you're talking about is something very specific that you are projecting on me that you think that I should be doing. Brother, you're not making that much sense. You're not as smart. You're not coming off as smart as you think you are, brother. So stop it with the insults, bro. Just chill.
Umar Johnson has never said he was a comedian. He's not a comedian.
I ain't never said he was a comedian. Okay? He never said he was a clown, but don't people call him a clown? That's what I'm saying, bro. You're too emotional, man. That you're not even seeing straight. You're not even making sense.
He's funny because he understands that keeps your attention and engagement. He understands that, if he does humor and he goes on these 365-day revivals to collect money, we can talk about the preacher. We can talk about everybody else, but when we talk about your favorite conscious superhero, who you also now saying is a comedian, which he never.
Your favorite conscious superhero, bruh. So now Dr. Umar Johnson is my favorite conscious superhero. That's funny. That's funny. You know why that's funny? Because that's not true. You are my favorite conscious superhero, brother. Dr. Dennis Winkler Osser. No, brother Dennis Osser Winkler. You are my favorite conscious superhero. How dare you put Dr. Umar before you?
Identifies as a comedian. You're making up stuff. You're doing too much. You're doing too much to not call.
You saying I never said he was a comedian, like a real comedian, bro. Come on, what happened to you understand the nuance? I don't, bruh. He's a comedian, meaning he got jokes. Just like when you call somebody a clown because they got jokes. Too serious for your own good, bro.
Call out and identify people you love so much who you think have an answer and a potential to save us when they have no potential to save us. I'm sorry. You asked the question, is he redeemable? I say highly unlikely. Yes. When you understand personality and how rigid it is, he's going to have to go through a major process of healing before he can even get to helping and healing people. People.
Okay, that's your assessment. That's your professional assessment. If that's your professional assessment, that's what it is. That's your opinion. Okay, that's what you gather from what you see. That's fine.
Try to heal people through their own hurt when people have not healed themselves yet. And that becomes very problematic in our community. So what I'm saying, yo, you sound so deep. Yo, you sound so deep when you say reflect on yourself. We need to reflect on ourselves and not other people. That is.
That remind me of Living Color. When the brother in prison, trying to sound deep and everything. That's funny. That's funny. I sound so deep, but you sound so deep too, brother. You sound just as deep as me. You sound just as deep as me. Come on, bro. Accept your own and be yourself. I'm your brother, man. I'm your brother.
Is what most people in abusive relationships on an individual level say. It's all about me. I got to make the changes in me. It's not him. You understand? I counsel so many people. I counsel so many women I hear who they can tell me all the things and all the manipulation that is going on inside their abusive relationship. But at the same
Brother Arcer, thank you for your service to the community.
time, they begin to say, I have to focus on they begin to say, I'm the problem. I'm the problem and all that. And there is a truth. There's some truth that you the problem, but you're not the problem in the way that you think you're the problem. The problem why you're the problem is that you're not really holding this person accountable, sister, and brothers as well, who are in abusive relationships, because people who you can call abusers, again, a person who gains and maintains power and control over you, who influences you. What they do is they know how to manipulate you and have.
Let me ask you, brother, and this is the same question. When you see a woman in an abusive relationship, okay, now put violence aside, because we're not saying Dr. Umar is doing violence to women. Put violence aside, but all the other definitions of abuse. When you see a woman in an abusive relationship with a man, do you intervene? Say that she didn't ask you to intervene. Do you intervene? Or do you see your clients? Do your clients come to you? So that's what I'm trying to ask you. Do you just, go out of your way and intervene when you see a woman in an abusive relationship, not physically abusive, but maybe mentally abusive, verbally abusive? Do you go and try to get her away from him? That's a question that I want you to answer, bro.
You questioning the things that you know. And you know things are wrong, but now the very fact that you'll begin to have problems calling out the poor behavior that they're doing because they have in some way influenced you, that is problematic. So when I mean, it's deeper than what you were saying.
Dr. Umar does not influence me. I don't follow Dr. Umar. I don't know his doctrine. I know some of the things he talks about just from the videos. Like I said, I never even went to see him speak. I never did business with him. I never gave him no money. I would like just lightly look at, like the school, and I would, I would watch some of the videos of, what people are saying about, the school and everything like that, but I never got emotionally caught up in this guy called Dr. Umar.
I understand people think they're deep. Yo, you're beginning to show me that you're not that deep. You're showing me that you can't take accountability. You're showing me that you're stuck. You're showing me that, when you go and you post a post this morning about, like, you don't care. This is what you're saying. I don't care about those women. I don't care about them. They keep throwing their body at them. They keep doing that. Bro, I do care about those women. I do care about.
So for one, I ain't say I don't care about them as far as being women. I'm saying, yeah, if they're going to throw themselves at him, okay, intervene then, bro. Stop it from happening. But you just said that you can't stop it. It's bro. Come on.
About our community who throw their money, their time, their resources at people. It's not only about that, dear brother. It's about people who present like him to take advantage.
And why you keep calling him that dear brother? As much, I don't know if vitriol is the right word. I have that word comes to mind. I have to look that word up. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know if that's the proper word, but it sounds like such vitriol or such disdain for this man, but you're calling him dear brother. So then that makes me, start to wonder when you're calling me dear brother.
Of our community. I care about them. And I am going, as I said on those podcasts, sound the horn. And
sound the horn, brother. Sound the horn. I am not trying to stop you from sounding the horn. But don't tell me what the hell I'm supposed to be doing.
This is just an example. You can take the brother's name out of it completely. But I understand that you're stuck with that particular brother.
I understand that you're stuck with that particular brother. No, actually, I'm not stuck on that particular brother like you appear to be. Okay? See, that's a difference. I'm looking past Dr. Umar. You're the one that's stuck. I'm looking past Dr. Umar. You seem to be fixated on this brother and what he's doing. So since he bothers you so much, go on and deal with it then. Because you're the one that's stuck on it, not me.
You understand? There's a trauma bond, it sounds like, going on. But what I'm saying is, brothers and
trauma bond. Oh, here go the educated fool again. A trauma bond. What the hell? What kind of trauma bond I got as related to Dr. Umar? Brother, you sound silly. You sound silly. Okay? You're going to sit up here and talk about, I think I'm deep. But you're just projecting because you're doing the same thing that you're talking about, trying to sound deep. Come on, man. What Dr. Khalid Muhammad used to say, we got these BS degrees and these PhDs, bullshit piled high and deep. Bro, come on, man.
yo, we can talk about educated fools, but some people so social, some people so spiritually, philosophically fools as well. And
no, it's not nothing philosophical that it stops at. When I talk about, I'm focusing on making sure that I am in proper alignment, and that's a full-time job. Okay, and I am building with those who have, a similar intent, who are not going out in this world projecting all their issues on other people, angry about everything, trying to preach to people what you should be doing, what you should be doing. No, it's what I need to be doing. I'm not talking about how you live your life. You go on and do that. Okay? But the way I live my life is not limited to a philosophy. It's the way I live. Okay? So cease and desist on your insults, brother. Because it's not making you look good at all.
It's like I'm thinking about Nas verse. You ask me if I'm trying to kick knowledge. You know what I mean? You ask me if I'm trying to kick knowledge. Nah, the ether make your soul burn slow. But what I'm saying is, the reality is, we can do two things at one time. We can identify issues in our community. We can
definitely identify issues in our community. And we have identified issues in our community. And we continue to identify issues in our community. Brother, you extrapolating and you all over the place, man. You all over the place. Assuming that I don't understand the issues in our community or think that we can't, identify issues in our community. Yeah, we can identify issues in our community. Okay, but we know this is simply about, and you can say it's not about it. You can try to get deep and say it's, more than what it is. This is about how y'all feel about Umar Johnson and trying to get me on the same page with y'all and angry because I'm just like, I ain't worried about Umar Johnson. I'm just not worried about him. Okay, I'm not worried about him. I got other stuff to be concerned about. But y'all go on and do that. Y'all go on and do that. Have fun with that.
Oppressors. We can identify abusers. We can identify charlatans. We can identify people who are hurting, harming us, and disserving us and also work on ourselves. Let's stop playing these games, people. Until next time, people, thanks for tuning in. Share, like, subscribe.
Yeah, so subscribe to Dr. Arce's channel. Let me see what it's called. Dr. Dennis Arce Winkler TNAT Communiversity. And look, brother Arce does a lot in the community, man. He's a pillar in the community. Okay. So, we having this little back and forth, but let me tell you something. I respect that brother and I will support that brother, in whatever way that I can. Talking to you, Dr. Arce, I don't want to do this, back and forth, but you brought it on the video. And if you keep making videos, I don't know, I probably won't respond again. You know what I'm saying? But you brought it to the video and you probably gonna say, well, you brought it to Facebook. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. All right. But and look, I'm not saying you're wrong for bringing it to video, because that way you can get what you have to say out and I can get what I have to say out. But we know if we like talking on the phone or something, we'll probably be yelling back and forth, not listening to one another. And that's no good. So yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to make the video. On on some of this stuff, we just gonna have to agree to disagree, but I definitely, I definitely think that some things you're saying, brother, you're reaching. Some things you're saying, you're projecting. Okay. And so that's what I mean by when we so focused on what other people are doing, we may overlook certain things in ourselves. I can see the things in you that you are saying you see in me, brother. We each other's reflection to some extent. You may not like it, but it's true. But peace to you, brother, always.